What's going on, everybody? So today we're talking about something a little different than usual. We're going to talk about just like the state of the game uh, and address some concerns I've seen some people have and talk about and that kind of thing. So, you know, buckle up. Anyway, how do I word this? So I've seen some people say, is the game going to shut down soon because there's nothing. The anime's over. The game is not going to go into the manga at all. So it's basically there's not going to be anything new for it to pull from until Stone Ocean. I don't think it's going to shut down. I wouldn't be super worried about that. I've seen some revenue reports and stuff that people have shared in my Discord channel comparing it to Stardust shooters, and they're pretty similar. They have months where Pitter Patter Pop wins and months where Stardust Shooters wins, but Pitter Patter Pop is doing fine. It's certainly doing, if Stardust Shooters can last for 5 years, then Pitter Patter Pop is fine. Stardust Shooters still going strong. So I wouldn't be super worried about them shutting Pitter Patter Pop down. Um, that's not the only reason people have asked that question. So we're on their Twitter page, as I'm sure you can see, and they've been just kind of rifling out like new kinds of banners really quickly. Um, and that has been worrying people too. Are they putting out too much content too fast? Like, you see right here, Risotto and Doppio are going away when maintenance starts today. Um, I guess technically when maintenance ends, but you're not going to be able to pull on them when maintenance starts. And then we're going from Step Up banner with a limited unit right into Step Up banner with 2 limited units. You've got Kosaku Kira, who is super, like, people have been going hard for him since release, wanting him really bad. Doesn't look like he's Bites the Dust, though. It looks like he's just the apartment murder. And then another limited, which is a reprint, which is a reprint of voiced Rohan. So right after a brand new limited, voiced Risotto, one of the best characters in the game right now, we're rolling right into another limited, right on its back, right after Golden Week, which is Kosaku Kira. So Risotto is a very popular character. Pretty much guaranteed to get a lot of people interested. And just like the previous Risotto, he's one of the best characters in the game. Then right here, Kira, another super fan favorite character, but Kira doesn't really have the history of being like a game buster like Risotto did coming into it. Kira is generally always mediocre at best, so it'll be interesting to see if this one's good. But either way, good or bad, you've got 2 limiteds running back to back on each other. Now this one was, I don't remember how long they were up. It was like 2 weeks or something like that. A decent amount of time. This one will probably be up for the same-ish amount of time. This is his event, so there will be some diamonds that come with it. But we'll keep going back. Even before that, we had man, they were advertising these guys for a hot minute. So it was 2 weeks that Golden Week was up. We had another Step Up banner with Abdul and Bag Polnareff that was also right on the back of another Step Up banner, which is Old Joseph. So Step Up banners, they've definitely been getting more and more prevalent in the game over time when they first were introduced, and they're very contentious. A lot of people like them, and a lot of people don't like them. I don't think there's necessarily any evidence that their rates are worse than any other banner is. I don't look into the rates in the banners really, like data mine wise. So I guess I couldn't tell you if they are, but I've seen some people say that feels like they are, but that's all, sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. I've seen people like them because that first pull is over 50% off of a full multi, because a full multi is 450 and that first pull is 200. And then I've seen people who are collectors really dislike them because they're full of filler, right? Like generally most games when they give you step up banners, they will either give you the unit, like, oh, if you do 10 multis or whatever, you know. I don't, not many of them do 10 anymore, but, you know, on a step up, you just get the unit. Like Naruto Blazing or something. You do enough pulls, you just get the unit. In JoJo, it's always just a guaranteed copy of a featured unit, which you would think would be fine, but they always stuff the banners with crappy features that you don't want. Like even these ones, like Joseph's not limited, but he's not on the banner anywhere. They still snuck Pajama Kakuin in there just to give you something not to get. Just to make it so that you can't get 100% Joseph. Avdol did the same thing with Bag Polnareff. Not on here anywhere. Featured character. The Risotto and Doppio did it too. Because everyone was like, wow, here's the 2 for a step up right here. Just kidding. They stuck... Who would they stuck voiced Abacchio, voiced Naranza, and voiced Bruno in there. Which is ridiculous. Because, like, at least... like voiced Abacchio and Narancia are like none of them are really that good. They're like okay-ish, and at least voiced Bruno is like technically also a limited rerun. But there's really no reason to have 5 units in there to pull from in the end. And I think the original Risotto banner was some kind of nightmare scenario where it was like every single member of La Squadra was in the banner. So the final step had a possibility of like 8 different people or something. It was terrible. And some of them are SRs. Like, they'll stick SRs on these banners in the last step. So you can have, like, a shot at getting the unit you really wanted or some crappy SR. And they're a lot. It's a lot to get to the end. It's like 1,600 diamonds, which is not the end of the world. Like, but, I mean, if you're a pay-to-play player, you're probably not going to do more than a couple rotations unless you're really hardcore about it. Because, as we know, the meta in this game, it shifts, but it usually just kind of shifts among the people who are already good, you know? You've got, like, Diavolo and Voice Giorno, you've got Fortaro and literally anybody, and then, like, Anubis Polnareff came out, and, like, and Hideo, and they also kind of jump in there. But it's usually, or, like, Risotto, and now the new Risotto will probably be part of it, too. But they usually kind of, like, fluctuate around those same people. Oh, I take it back. Sorry. Doppio and Risotto are already gone. I forgot they take those banners away a day before they release the new stuff for some reason. But yeah, like the meta in this game mostly bounces around from the characters who are already good. So like, it's not super crazy investment-wise. And so you're probably not going to go super hard after whoever the new hotness is unless you see that they have that potential. Someone like a Hideo or an Anubis Polnareff or a Voiced Risotto, you know what I mean? So step-ups just feel prohibitive sometimes. I mean, sometimes they're great, and there's a lot of arguments for why they're great, but I just feel like in this game, you're not getting the value that you're getting out of step-ups in other games. And since pulling in this game often feels unnecessary, it's just weird to me that they wouldn't put more, I don't know if effort is the right word, but more care into it. Then you had this banner, which was the 1.5 Annie Golden Week, whatever, all villains, but the rates were terrible. Another banner, bunch of top tiers. Right off the back of Anubis Polnareff. And Anubis Polnareff, another limited. And then didn't he come off? And he came off of Machine Gun Joseph, who this was a normal banner. So the last normal banner we've had was April 3rd. I guess April. Well, what did it come out on the 16th? When the hell did it come out? No, it was April 3rd. Yeah. And this was the last time we had just like a regular banner. So that was April 3rd. This is May 14th today. So it's been a month and a half. And in that month and a half since a normal banner, we've had a limited Aura banner, a limited, I think this is an Aura banner, a Step Up non-limited, another Step Up, not limited, a Step Up limited, and now another step up, limited. So, you know, I I don't mind it too terribly. They need to reprint limiteds more is what they need to do. It's really bad right now, like how rare that limited reprints are. Um, but anyway, that's beside the point. I don't think the game is going to die. I've seen a lot of people say that they don't like the state of the game, like the content cycle, which is, you know, new event, clear the event card, back card comes out, clear the back card, score attack is like your end game content, and then they'll do like side stuff, like you got bingo, you've got um, what's it called? All Out Warfare or whatever the one is called with the zombie, where you just beat the crap out of the zombie for 15 turns or whatever. Um, and they're saying like, oh, the content cycle is not shifting really, and I don't agree necessarily. Well, I mean, it's a gacha game, right? So gacha games thrive off of a content cycle, which it's a cycle. You know, it's cyclical content to keep you playing. And I will definitely agree that Pitter Patter Pop is a little bit limited in terms of like how much they're throwing at you in terms of content, you know? Like most banners usually come with one event and then a secondary, like a back card. So it's like quote unquote 2 events, but not really. And big events will have like a bingo or they'll do something, you know, but I mean, not only is it a gacha game, it's a tile matching puzzle game. So again, there's only so many ways they can give you events of matching your tiles, right? So, um, I don't know. I understand the concerns that a lot of people have that it's not throwing new content at you and the banner pace seems stressful. Like I've seen people compare it to Dragon Ball Legends, where Dragon Ball Legends just will start dropping banger banner after banger banner back and forth, and like that's it. And there's like crappy unfun content you can do in that game, followed by a bunch of banners. Now, I don't find the regular events in this game unfun. I know some people do. Um, I find basically everything in the game fun. So I don't mind playing the regular events in the back cards and the bingo and stuff like that. Like bingo is one of my favorite things in this game because it brings value to characters that otherwise aren't very good. Like you have the box missions where that brings a ton of value to people like Act 2 Koichi or Yukako again, like the old days, or even the new voiced Abdul makes boxes. Um, and that's fun to me because those are missions that you can't necessarily just beat out by using Part 4 Jotaro and Voice Risotto or whoever, you know, or, you know, Diavolo and Voice Giorno. Doesn't always work that way, you know? So I like bingo. Some people don't like bingo. Um, I've seen complaints that they're not giving very many diamonds, but I think the diamond income has been relatively consistent. It may have gone up or down like a little bit. I don't think by too much. We haven't gotten any of those miserable events where a limited unit is out for 2 days, like Voiced Joseph and Voiced Caesar, where they're out for 2 days and their event sucks and it only gives you like 30 diamonds total. And, you know, they haven't done any of those in a while. I'm not going to say the game is like crazy blowing stuff out of the water because it's not. But I do think it's a little, the concerns are a little unfounded. Ultimately, this game is about puzzles and clearing these puzzle missions with your favorite characters. So yes, there's going to be a banner focus. Um, the best advice I can give you is that you don't need every limited character, right? Like, wow, they reprinted Gold Experience Requiem back on the 26th. That's cool. I didn't even notice that. Oh yeah, and then we had Step Up Mista, who was apparently not limited. That's interesting. I guess he's in the coin banner. And then, oh, Gyako's limited. That makes sense, because he's a lot better than Mista. Mista kind of sucks, but... Anyway, I completely lost my train of thought when I saw Gold Experience Requiem and Bruno. Yeah, so the game is mostly about collecting your favorite characters and playing with them. And it can definitely feel investment heavy, like... Because when you talk about the meta in this game, a big problem that I had a long time ago, when the game first came out, is that everybody talks about like the meta in the context of, oh, you know, we're gonna only talk about units at skill level 1 or maybe 2 because nobody would ever whale in this game or whatever, and nobody would ever go for big points, and so it doesn't matter. All that matters is being able to hit 1 million, and if you can hit 1 million, that's all that matters at all. And I thought that was stupid. And now it's kind of flipped the other way to being like, oh, the meta is defined strictly by units at 5/5, like skill level 5, I mean, and it's a crazy amount of investment to get there. It's really hard to get to skill level 5, like even for me. Um, I don't whale like super hard, but I will go in for units that I want for sure. Like I don't go crazy. Like I mean, obviously some people will 5 out of 5 everybody that drops just by pulling. I don't do that. I usually just try to get one copy, and then I'll just ticket them over time with coins and stuff. Um, but it's hard. It's hard to get to skill level 5 even for like a light whale. So you got to be like a hardcore whale if you're gonna get skill level 5 in this game, um, which is obviously prohibitive. But I think there's too much focus on the meta, right? Like score attack is important and you do get like rewards from it and stuff, but I just think there's too much stress on that, right? People stress it too much. There's not a huge boon reward wise for being top, like whatever. I think top 200 is like where the reward starts to get worse. And granted, top 200 is not easy to get, and I know a lot of people are probably hearing me say that and being like, "Well, dude, I'm not even close to top 200," and I get it. It's not the easiest thing in the world to get to, but you can get to it without having a skill level 5 combo of like the top tier busted stuff. Now, this score attack was a bit of an outlier. This was a lot like the older ones before the skill limit. Um, I saw some people say the other day that they liked it before the skill limit, which is crazy to me because I think the skill limit makes other teams a little bit more viable. Because before that, you would basically just see like Part 4 Jotaro and anybody that could like they've had to nerf the way that skills work in this game so many times because originally they had to nerf stand-up time. So because in the very beginning, stand-up time didn't take any time off the clock, right? So like if you were at stand-up time with 1 second on the clock and you kept looping like Part 4 Jotaro and Fugo or whoever so that you never missed anything, you could lock it at that 1 second. And then they had to change that so that stand-up time would tick a little bit every time you got into it to prevent people from doing that. And then Risotto came out, and people just started looping him and whoever for 100 million points, and then so they added the time limit. And I've seen people say, "Oh, I don't like the time limit," or the not the time limit, the use limit. I don't agree with it. I think that it does focus the game more around time stoppers, but the game was already focused around time stoppers, and this at least lets you play some other stuff and do okay. Like I've seen people get 10 or 15 million with off-color teams that are not who you need to use, but score attack's only one aspect of the game, and the rewards you get from score attack usually aren't like the most lucrative. They can be, like rainbow chests can be crazy good if you get lucky, but I bet you're pulling a lot more of those silver furniture tickets out of those than you are diamonds. Meanwhile, stuff like bingo usually pays pretty well in diamonds, like or even regular events, like they pay out guaranteed diamonds. Score attack, once you get past like the 1.5 mil in guaranteed, there are no guaranteed diamonds in point placement. None of like you can get all of your chest rewards and get 0 diamonds out of it. And the only diamonds you end up getting are your 1.5 million diamond rewards. So ultimately, I just don't think this game is suited to be like your go-to #1 hardcore gacha game. I think this is a fun. You've only got 5 hearts. Have fun with your favorite JoJo characters and just like have a good time. Like it's not designed to be hyper competitive, and I think if you make it hyper competitive, you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself to I don't want to say expect more out of it because I don't think the game is doing anything wrong other than kind of being cyclical, but again, it's a gacha game and they're all cyclical. I just think that like if you expect it to be this super competitive thing where you want to be like the big man, I want to put up the points, and this is a game that doesn't let me put up the points or whatever, you're going to burn out. You're going to burn yourself out, and then you're going to, I don't know, not like a game that you liked before because you were so focused on min-maxing and burning yourself out when the game's just not designed around that. You don't get like a ton of value out of doing that. So like if you have fun doing that, then do that. But if you don't have fun doing that and it makes the game unenjoyable for you, I just want you to play it the way that you want to play and do your own thing and have a good time, right? Like the game just shouldn't be a source of stress. And I've seen a lot of people make it a source of stress for them, and that's, a good way to burn yourself out and not want to play anymore. Or it's a good way to get yourself in a position where all of a sudden you spent way too much money trying to pull a character that you didn't want to, that you didn't even really need or like care about that much, right? Like, you know, if you have a maxed out Part 4 Jotaro, do you really need one copy of Anubis Polnareff? Was it really worth spending 2,500 gems or whatever you did on that one copy of Anubis Polnareff or whatever? Or, Gyakko, do you need every single time stopper when you're probably just going to use Part 4 Jotaro anyway? You know? Um, is it going to stress you out that much if like you missed the one collection piece you really wanted and you didn't get it? I'm a bit of a collector in this game, and so I understand it, but I don't know. I'm just rambling now. I guess just what I'm saying is I don't think that the game is in a bad way, but I do think that some people can approach the game in an unhealthy way that makes them feel like it's in a really bad way. And that if you're playing the game and you're not enjoying yourself, don't play it as much or play it differently or do something else. Like, I used to go gung ho on score attack, but like I'm not super great at this game. I just kind of am whatever. So like I would go gung ho at it and not place where I wanted. I would place like low top 100 or like outside of the top 100 or whatever and be annoyed and frustrated about it. And then I started just playing with characters that I like and doing like the bingo events and like seeing all the animations and the voices and stuff, and like I really like that, and that's really fun to me, and it's more interesting to me than trying to min-max grind a leaderboard just to get silver furniture tickets that don't mean anything. Um, Again, not to belittle people that want to grind super hard in it. I definitely see the allure of like leaderboard grinding. Um, it's cool, it's fun, etc. But basically, the mantra I'm going for is just play the game, find what you like about the game, and play it that way. And don't force yourself to do something that you're not enjoying. Because if you force yourself to do something that you're not having fun, or you're forcing yourself to keep pulling because you feel like you need all these units to keep up, and then you're stressed out because they're dropping all these banners all the time, don't do that, right? Like, take stock of what you need and what you really want, because like I don't know, I you get what I'm saying. I'm repeating myself now. Just play the game for you and have a good time, and don't play it for other people or for this perception of what you think you should play it for because of whatever the community or because of YouTube or whatever you're doing that's making you feel like you need to play it in a certain way. Play it your way and have fun, and you won't burn yourself out. And we can just hang out and like different aspects of the same thing, right? Like, if someone gives you a bunch of shit because you didn't pull whoever or because you don't have whatever meta, blah, 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 like, who cares? It's JoJo, man. We just want to hang out and have a good time. All right, everybody. That was my soapbox rant for today. That's all I got. I think I don't want to keep repeating myself and just say have fun, but have fun. And I will see you guys next time. We'll talk about Kosako Kira tomorrow, probably. I'm going to try to get him. I might not get him. I don't know. I'm not going to go super crazy hard because I don't think he's going to be that good. I've become very skeptical of Kira units in general, so I don't think he's going to be that great. But, we'll talk about him tomorrow. All right, everybody. Goodbye.